$1,000 solo para ver apartamento. Uf. ¿Qué lo que? Rico.toro. Real life experiences. Personal observations. Hit that subscribe. Hit that bell. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much to all my friends of the channel that have done so. So, Friday, January 1st, started the new curfew, as we've mentioned before. 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, 12 noon Saturday, Sunday. So now that we're past the weekend, I'll talk about my observations for a second before I get into today's topic. So 5 p.m. not much has changed, you know. It just looks like some random businesses are still open, doing kind of what they want, especially on the beach. You know, it's kind of wide open, which is kind of nonsensical, you know, or illogical, if that's a better word, because an aggressive lockdown really, you know, I don't see what purpose it serves if, you know, certain segments, certain areas, people are going to be doing what they want to do anyways. But, you know, I don't make these decisions, and, you know, so whether it's fair or not, or whether I think it's logical, doesn't really matter, but that's just my observation. And on the weekend, I assumed that just about everything was closed Saturday, and I was pretty much home. But Sunday I walked around and went out a little more, and I saw that things were wide open on the beach. And I discovered through a neighbor or two that there are a couple of restaurants still open for late night delivery, carry out, and even some after hours congregating is going on. I'm not going to mention any specific places online, but as always, the email is in the description. So if you're here or coming down, you hit me up, you know, just ask me and I'll tell you directly. So that's that. We'll see what happens next week, you know. And just another quick thing is, like, a comment on one of my videos, someone said, basically, you know, he's frustrated. He lost like $800 on his flight, I guess, you know, because he canceled after the last minute. It was kind of last minute, sprung this new change on. And, you know, he said basically, you know, it's really doesn't make a lot of sense, or it's just wrong, basically, for them to keep the borders open but imprison you in your hotel when you're visiting, you know. And, you know, from a tourist perspective, I completely understand and feel some guy's pain in that logic, because, you know, I'm pretty sure, I want to believe that this 10-day aggressive lockdown, the intention is this will help them not need to close the borders and be able to stay open and then relax the curfew. You know, I guess that's the intended result. But yeah, I can't see them keeping the borders open if they're going to have a noon curfew, even if it is just the weekend, because a lot of people, their trip, especially if it's only a week or 5 days or something, you know, it is going to overlap the weekend. So yeah, in a sense, expecting people to come down during that is like basically just going to a Caribbean prison, in a sense. And, you know, while I can certify that everybody's been coming down so far, having a great time still, noon kind of does, I think, change that mentality a little bit. 5 p.m. if we had to do it, we would adjust. I mean, so far everybody has. But to be on vacation with a noon curfew, that is some sort of vacation imprisonment. So, I completely feel that brother's pain and understand his point of view on that. However, like I say, I think this is they're going to make all the efforts they can to keep the borders open. And with that, they know to continue to entice and encourage tourism, they would have to relax the curfew a little bit closer to what it was, either 7 p.m. or 9 p.m. depending. So enough on that. So the Amiga has been in the process of getting a new apartment in Santiago. And this has been a couple of month process because things have been slow in Sosua. And J-Rock did a video a while back about getting an apartment in Santo Domingo, Santiago, the bigger cities a while back. And, so we're talking about, leases written in pesos, rent paid in pesos, and Dominican landlords and owners. So I actually was unfortunate and overheard a lot of back and forth with the Amiga and some prospective landlords yesterday on this. And one of the things I overheard was her basically just screaming on him, en serio necesito pagar 1,000 pesos solo para ver apartamento. And I'm like, wow. So he wanted 1,000 pesos just to see the apartment. And so, I was like, that's just ridiculous, And see who's at the door. Oh, hello? Hola. Sorry, I had to buzz somebody in the front. So basically, 1,000 pesos just to see the apartment. And, also, he was saying she needs a guarantor, which is like a cosigner. And that's something J-Rob mentions. Sosua, I think, because a lot of times, it's gringos renting. They just assume that we have money. And so we pay the deposit, pay the first month rent. There's not a lot of questions asked. But I think, they want paperwork or guarantees in the cities, from their own people. And, thankfully, she hasn't directly asked me to be a guarantor. I co-signed for something for an ex-girlfriend in the States several years ago. And fortunately, she didn't make me look bad or make my credit look bad. It worked out. But it's one of those things that I just really don't recommend in general as I've gotten older. Just seeing other people's credit and finances suffer from co-signing for the wrong people or guarantor, whatever, for the wrong people. I wouldn't do it for anyone other than my son or daughter if I was somebody in that position again. So 1,000 pesos to view the property, needing a guarantor. It's just the ugly process, for freelance workers, we'll call them. And you could probably be an American or European or Canadian or something and in the capital or in Santiago, and possibly if you have online income or freelance income, you depending on whatever documentation you're able to provide, if you're not able to, you may need a guarantor as well. So that's just something to think about, y'all.